Hey y'all,
What's up, y'all?
I'm Elise,
I'm Will.
and this is
Team Tatum.
Team Tatum.
Today we're continuing our journey on the 1001 movies you must watch before you die with the 1941 animated movie Dumbo. This is the first animated movie that we've done on the list, right?
Correct.
Alright. This is by Disney and
Walt himself.
yes, Walt himself. And it is the first non-fantasy, like fairy tale Disney movie.
This is the first non-fairy tale.
Disney movie.
Last time I checked, animals can't talk. It's a fairy tale.
Well, no, like
What
like
fairy
Snow
tale
White,
counts?
Cinderella, like
Let me
the
say it again. What counts as fairy tale?
like the ones made into movies prior to this were based off of a fairy tale like Snow White.
Oh, like not based off of a book previous.
Yeah.
Got it. Nothing.
Though this was kind of based on a book, Dumbo isn't a story. He's just a character in this. It's a children's toy, so it's not even a book. It's really like a children's toy, but it came with like this little book thing. It was weird. It was like revolutionary at the time when it came out, and the writer found it, and it's only like 2 pages. Like it's literally 2 pages in this thing. And yeah, he wrote the screenplay or whatever
Stuff.
from that. The synopsis for this movie is a baby elephant with ginormous ears is ridiculed
The most adorable ears you ever saw in your life, first of all.
at the circus that he grows up in by his other co-workers in the circus, and I mean all the co-workers in the circus. And this mouse helps him overcome his insecurities.
What's the synopsis for this?
I mean, verbatim, it's ridiculed because of his enormous ears. A young circus elephant is assisted by a mouse to achieve his full potential.
I don't like it.
That's what it is.
Torn from his mother, a young elephant has to learn how to cope with bullying and fat old hating women that don't got nothing going for themselves, want to hate on other people. And he meets a mouse friend who helps him do these things along the way.
Hear that, IMDb? Switch up that synopsis.
Heavy on the fat old women too.
So this is the shortest of like any Disney movie or any full-length feature film at the time. It's 40 minutes.
It's my kind of movie.
It's an hour and 4 minutes.
My kind of movie.
And it was originally supposed to be a short. So I don't know if you grew up watching like the Disney shorts or not. Like I loved, like I got a whole external hard drive full of
This man asked me.
Disney shorts.
Go on then.
Anyway, it was originally supposed to be that because again the source material, like the toy, was only like the little 2 pages in the toy. Like it was like a story time toy or whatever. Like it had multiple sections to it, and each section had like a little write-up about it. But anyway, and Walt didn't even like it at first. Like when they first brought it to him, he was like, I don't want this. And so when they pitched it, he didn't want it. So the writers were like, I really think this would be good. So they gave it to him in sections. They just left pieces of the script on his desk like every week, and then stopped. And he came to him and was like, how does it finish? What's next? And they were like, aha, gotcha.
Where's the spoon?
All right, I'll taste the soup. Where's the spoon? Aha! Aha!
So it got made into a full length film. But so this came right after Fantasia and Pinocchio, which were flops in the theater. Apparently,
I could see Fantasia being a flop. But Pinocchio.
No, not Pinocchio. Snow White.
How dare they even more?
Yeah, they were flops in the theater. Like,
you know how
I know how you feel about
Snow White.
So people love them like after the fact, but when they first got released, like the amount of money that they spent, it's only because the amount of money that they spent to make those two movies, they didn't get their money back for real. But people liked it, but just not enough.
They started doing the and back out of the vault
right.
for a limited time. Snow White again.
That's also when they started.
We don't get our money back for this movie.
Reusing animations, so you know how we'll catch from movie to movie. Yeah, like Robin Hood and Aristocrat. Yeah, you'll see it.
Include what I was doing just then.
Both of us noticed growing up, we were like, that looks awfully familiar. They would reuse animations from one movie to the next, and this is one of the reasons why. Because Walt was like, look, we gotta save money. We went too hard in the paint for these first couple of movies, and the investment on return did not work out. So
return on investment.
Yeah.
The ROI of it all.
So he wanted to be a full-length feature because he's like, I'm not gonna make no real money off of being a short. It gotta be a movie. But the theater people were like, this is a stupid short movie. Like you can't do this.
He said, I know what to add in. Necros. That'll spread it out and give the people what they want.
He fought him and was like, I'm Walt Disney, baby. It's gonna make money. People gonna come. I'm gonna put butts in seats.
Yeah.
But they were like, this should be a short. It's too short to be a full-length feature film. And he was like,
perfect.
I'm making this a feature film. So that's another like big thing that it did, in addition to being the first like non-fairy tale one. It's also the first Disney movie with a silent protagonist. Dumbo has no speaking lines. He did have speaking lines, and they took him out.
Didn't he cry or something during the movie and had a voice and sounded like a grown man? I was like, what is this?
Not at this movie.
He wasn't talking. He was just crying. It was when, whatchamacallit, the mouse met him. He was like, hey, cheer up, brother. But he was like, it's like, who is this 40-year-old man crying out of this baby's face? That's why he had no voice.
But yeah, it's the first protagonist. But also about him crying. So you know how he swam when he's crying? I've always thought that was weird. Like, why are you doing this?
It's so sweet.
But apparently elephants actually do that when they're sad. When they're depressed, they sway from side to side like that. I was like, I never knew that. Guess I never seen a depressed elephant.
Y'all just be seeing elephants all day.
Right. So yeah, the movie, do a quick little rundown. The movie mostly takes place at the circus, like 90% takes place at the circus.
They're circus animals. The circus is all they know. They were probably born into it just like he was.
Right. So the movie starts off. Now, we both grew up watching Dumbo. It wasn't in my Mount Rushmore of Disney movies. It was for. But I watched it multiple times. I didn't remember it was this short until we watched it when we first got it on Blu-ray a couple years ago. And I was like, it's over already? That's it? I was like, man, it was short. I don't remember being this short. And I also didn't remember like how I felt about it, other than I knew I watched it a bunch of times. This didn't happen when we first bought it, but this time we watched it, that opening with the moms getting their babies, that hit me.
Why?
I don't know why. I was like, man, that's messed up. Miss Jumbo just looking around, all these people having babies.
Doing like this out of the top.
The stork is dropping the babies to everybody, and I was like, yo.
All right. What I didn't realize when I was younger watching this was that they knew that the babies were coming. Like, I thought that it was a surprise that they were getting babies from the stork, but how she was there in anticipation and they were like, we can't wait to meet the little baby. It's coming, blah, blah, blah. That's how the other women sounded.
It's pretty good.
They were talking all that, and I was like, oh, you knew that your child was coming. I mean, makes sense. You can get ready for it and all. Don't just drop in your lap. However, I thought that they just dropped in your lap.
You were like, oh, I got a baby.
Right.
You're like, the stork just
I'm a child.
Stop it, please! I'm a child!
But no, it was sad. I was like, why are you starting the movie off like this? But then I was like, this is Disney. Like,
Let
they
you know
murder
how
parents
it's about to go in
the
movie.
beginning of the movies. Like, why is this any different? But yeah, that was, like I said, it just hit me. And I was like, man, that's super sad. Like, looking at her, and I'm looking at this cartoon elephant, look at all these other cages, and being like, where my baby?
She had big old tears.
Big tears. But finally, you realize that the stork is running late because he done got lost or whatever. He reading his map. Oh, on the map, it shows they're in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
First Disney movie set in America. I never thought about it, like the setting of the different movies.
I don't know where none of them sit, child.
Snow White's
Heavy
in
on
Europe.
Snow White.
Pinocchio's in
Cinderella.
Europe. Fantasia isn't like set any particular where. But this is like the first one that says like we're established in America because it's in Florida. The stork, voiced by
my mom.
Not your mom. The then unknown Sterling Holloway, which is my boy. That's my guy.
Shout out to Sterling.
You may know him as Winnie the Pooh and a ton of other voices in Disney. Like once he did this, he blew up. Depending on when you were born, you might know Jim Cummings as Winnie the Pooh because he took over after Sterling.
Like me.
But anyway,
Young Bird.
Sterling Holloway is the voice of the stork. Nobody is famous in this movie. This is pre like Toy Story, or pre Aladdin, really, before they had like actual famous celebrities doing acting work.
Famous actors, I should say.
But what's dope about the stork, about Sterling Holloway playing the stork, he also reprises his role in Lambert the Sheepish Lion as the stork. Like it's the same exact character delivering Lambert to the mother sheep, which is one of my favorites.
Get fired?
I don't know.
Well, this man ain't good at his
Nepo
job.
Baby. He's a Nepo baby. But I love Lambert. Lambert the Sheepish Lion is probably one of my favorite shorts. He is the stork in both, and he's terrible at his job at both. But anyway, finally delivers him to Mrs. Jumbo, whose original name was Ella.
Elephant.
And her husband's name was Jumbo, and Dumbo was Jumbo Jr. So in the movie, she says he's
Jumbo Jr.
He's Jumbo Jr. But in the original like story or whatever, he's Jumbo Jr. after the dad.
Yeah. She's Mrs. Jumbo because her husband is Jumbo. Her name isn't Jumbo. She's Mrs. Jumbo.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway,
moving on.
And she like unwraps him from the swaddling that he's in, and it turns out all the swaddling ain't the blanket, it's his ears.
And they
or whatever.
wrapped them so adorably around him.
And because they're basically adult-sized elephant ears on a baby elephant. It's crazy. So the women immediately turn on her and start talking down about this baby.
EARS.
They went ham on this. I was like, he just got here. How you going in on the baby?
What's your excuse?
You ain't got no baby? Where your baby at? You talking about my baby? And then all the other like animals, the circus ringmaster, the clowns, like everybody started ragging on him.
This freak. Dang, y'all ain't got nothing going on.
Right, y'all ain't got nothing going on in your life. So
a gap or something.
Then some kids come to the circus and they start messing with Dumbo. They immediately name him Dumbo. Like they're like, forget what you named him, Jumbo Jr. Like he's Dumbo. And so these kids start messing with him, and that's the last straw. Mrs. Jumbo crash out, or whatever, right? and then they lock her up because she, attacked this boy. She spanked him. She whooped the mess out of this boy.
Gave him a good whooping too.
A
literal whooping.
Yeah, literal whooping. Like bent him over and just whap, 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 whap. So they lock her up. She locked up the rest of the movie. I remember her getting locked up, but I thought she was like temporarily. They lock her up for the rest of the movie.
For life.
And I mean, she had red eyes. Like they changed the eyes to red. Like she was literally seeing red. So now Dumbo an orphan or whatever.
He ain't got no mama. He ain't got no daddy.
I mean, he ain't an orphan for real, but he ain't nowhere near his mama. And then he meets Timothy the mouse, which in the original book he was a robin. He wasn't a mouse. The animators decided to put in a mouse because they thought it was funny because elephants and mice, allegedly don't get along or whatever.
I like that. That change.
And then he, gets his confidence up and he's like, we just got to get you a good act or whatever. And thinking of a good act to do, because they put him as like a baby clown, like they paint his face like the clowns, and the clowns just basically throw water on him and drop him out of buildings and all this stuff for laughs.
Real animal cruelty stuff.
Real animal cruelty. And so he's like, we got to come up with a good act. So then they wound up going to the crows, which were not.
You can't just skip past like that, my brother.
What up? Oh yeah, I forgot.
He
scratch that. Don't even.
Was being the baby clown. No, we leaving it in. He was the baby clown, and it was his first time performing with them, and they had him jump out of a burning building, and they caught him on the trampoline like thing that firefighters used to have back in the day for people to jump out on. And then of course it didn't work, so he just fell through it into basically a tub of whipped cream or something, and they were like, ah ha ha ha, and the clowns were all like, oh, such a great success, best show ever, we're gonna ask for extra money from this. Meanwhile, Dumbo is just humiliated and stuff because he was the one that was made fun of.
Probably hurt.
Yeah, it had to hurt falling all that way. It was like 3 stories, but still, you fall 3 stories into a bucket of whipped cream, you're gonna have some bruises and something. Could even break something.
And they kicked him out. Like he didn't jump to land. He was scared, and they were just
they pushed him out the window. But so he crying and all sad, and Timothy tries to cheer him up, and he was like, here, drink some water or something, calm your nerves. And before they knew, well, unbeknownst to them, a bottle of champagne had fallen into the water bucket. From the clowns celebrating that they're great, like all the laughs they got during their set. And so, you know how elephants drink, they drink through the trunk, and they're getting like a lot of water at a time. Up their trunk, and he's a baby. Drinking gulps and gulps of champagne, so he was real bad drunk. The mouse fell into the bucket, so he was instantly drunk, and things ensued. Hallucinations or no. My favorite part of the movie, well, one of my favorite parts of the movie happens where he sees the elephants on parade. That's all I'll say in case you haven't seen it, because I don't want to ruin that part for you. But elephants on parade. And the next day he wakes up from that, and that's when he meets the crows. Okay. So, yes. The elephants on parade is a wild segment, by the way. So, if you're not prepared for that, prepare yourself. And then the crows were not original characters. I'll tell you. They brought them in. I know what to throw in. But the lead animator for the crows, black guy. Mm-hmm. Norman Floyd was his name. I know who Norman Floyd is. Look him up. Black History Month. And though there's in the credits, so it's kind of true, but at the same time it's not true. So a lot of people grew up thinking that the main crow was named Jim Crow or whatever, right? To go with Jim Crow, which was still going on at the time when this movie came out, right? But that's why the crows were created, as to kind of poke fun at Jim Crow. But the crow didn't technically have a name.
they did, like, while they were making the movie, called him Mr. J. Crow. But in the credits, you don't see that. And when they did finally give the Crow a name, this is when, like, all the rumors started about him named Jim Crow. His name was Dandy Crow.
Well, of course they're not going to name him Jim after the rumors. That's not what we named him. His name, Dandy.
But yeah, Norman Floyd did put him in as like a jab at the system or whatever that was going on at the time. Though the main Crow, aka Jim Crow, or Dandy Crow, is voiced by a white guy, he was voiced by, and I forget his name, but he was like the minstrel show guy at the time.
I beg your pardon?
But all the other clothes are voiced by black people. That part, look, I don't know if y'all could tell or not, but we black. Been black.
Not even African American.
Black. Southern black. Arkansas black. Okay?
Black.
All right? Them Crows is one of the best parts of that movie. All right?
This is my favorite. That's why I had to change my last part. Because I said that the Elephants on Parade was my favorite. I was like, one of my favorites. Because the Crows are my favorites.
I mean, I seen a rubber band. I seen a peanut stand. I seen a needle that winked his eye. But I been done seen about everything.
When I see
an elephant fly. Bars. Like, that song is fire. I don't care.
Triple platinum in our household.
Right. We'll say that randomly. Like, when we don't believe nothing, we'll be like, I seen a needle that winked his eye, but I ain't never seen whatever it is that's going on.
Whatever you just did, or whatever you said you did.
I don't know what y'all talking about. Any of y'all upset? So
fake mad.
When the hubbaloo started about the Crows, of course, surprise, surprise, it was white people. They got all up in arms about it and was like, the black people are offended. Meanwhile, black people were like, it's my favorite part. And yeah, luckily they never took it out of the animated feature. They did take it out of the live action feature.
They did include
some crows.
That little, I'm talking about on the animated on Disney Plus. They included that little quote that they have on all of the older cartoons, saying there's some sensitive subjects or whatever offensive scenes in here, but just know we don't stand behind them, but we don't want to mess with the integrity of the film.
It's nothing even bad about it. They help Dumbo.
Right.
They are helpful. They're not like stereotypical other than how they talk. Like they talk in jive and they're wearing like the minstrel show type clothes of the time. But
you about to say everything. Now they might have had
no
technical blackface because they were crows.
But they're not like buffoons. They're not getting laughed at. They're not getting looked down upon. Like Timothy go to them and be like, yo, I know y'all know what's up. Laughing. So y'all tell me y'all know what's cool. You let me know what's cool so I can get this boy a good set. And they help him out or whatever. And he gets his big, finish at the end. I forgot about, what's the boy name? Casey Jr. Casey Jr. is also another banger.
On the track, boy.
Got another bang.
Look, smoky stack.
Dumbo got some hits.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Dumbo got some hits.
Wise.
I've been whistling what the boy name is. I forgot it again.
Casey Jr. I'm gonna take it to the doctor.
I've been whistling Casey Jr. like since we watched the movie, just random.
Every time that funny little whistle sound, everybody heard to the circus ground. You hear me? It's time for lemonade and Cracker Jacks.
Also not a part of the original story.
Casey Jr.'s back.
They threw him in just as like they knew they needed a train to get from city to city because that's what circuses do or whatever. What did? So they came up with the character. They had a whole backstory for him, but then they took it out. They were like, this has nothing to do with Dumbo. We don't need this. This is padding the runtime. So they took it out. But Casey Jr., another integral part of what makes, Dumbo.
Did y'all ever listen to those Disney sing-alongs? Boy. That
Good
one that's
times.
got Casey Jr. and stuff on it, and zippity doo.
That's another.
Right. That's one of the best Disney sing-alongs, though, boy. Man, all the bangers on that one.
So, when Timothy when he finally gets the idea from the crows or whatever what to do, and he wants to put the show in, he a mouse. He can't just be like, yo, this is what we doing. So he waits till the ringmaster falls asleep and he whispers in his ear the idea while he's sleeping, and he's like, oh, I got it. He wakes up with the idea.
Eureka.
He inceptioned them. So remember how we were watching and I was like, and it showed his shadow coming to him, and I was like, I wonder if that's a Nosferatu reference. It is a Nosferatu reference. And I was like, thanks, 100,001 movies, because I would never have made that connection because I didn't see the movie, but that's a very famous scene in Nosferatu of his shadow like coming before him on the wall. But it instantly clicked when I saw it, but I was like, I don't know for sure, but they did confirm it. There's been tons of confirmations. So I was like, yes, I know something. We gonna watch it. Anyway, the last first that Dumbo did, it was the first Disney movie on VHS.
Before Snow White?
Yep. Like VHS wasn't really a thing when Snow White came out. Like VHS existed, but they weren't like a household thing. So they weren't mass producing VHSs for movies.
I don't know when VHS came out, baby. I was thinking it came out in like the 80s.
But yeah, it was the first one they put on VHS. What else you got to say about Dumbo?
Best movie ever made, hands down. Wake up in the morning and peas excellence. I feel like Dumbo is the emo's dream. He really just gets you in your feels the whole time, and that's why some people don't like Dumbo, because they're like, I watch Disney movies to be happy and blah blah blah. First of all, name one Disney animated film, an OG one, where you were happy the whole way through. Something happened at some point where it's like, no.
I think I was happy the whole time. Robin Hood.
Robin Hood ain't OG, first of all.
Robin is OG.
It ain't the OG I'm talking about. I'm talking about OG Disney.
When you gotta come out to be OG?
Before my mama was born. Anyway.
When Robin come out?
Not before my mama was born. It is one of my favorites, as I've said a lot of times in this video. It's up there with a few others, but I think those are also on the list, so I'll just say them when we get to those. Okay. It's a lot of Disney animated films on the list if you don't know. But yeah.
On this list?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 5, I think.
Because I know it's not a whole bunch of animated movies, period.
All of them are these. But it really touches me in my emo heart when I watch this. I'm like, yeah. I feel like Dumbo needs a side part going across his eye like this. Fully midnight black. And I'll get one with him. We can match.
I can see it. There's quite a bit of emotions in Dumbo. Like, you pretty much go through all of them, but it definitely starts off sad. Right. Definitely starts off emo. I
would have been Timothy in this movie, for real. Except my size and height, whooping up on fools for making fun of Dumbo. And his name gonna be Jumbo Jr. if I'm around. Even Timothy called him Dumbo. Somebody gonna call him Jumbo, and it's gonna be me. Thank you.
So, does it deserve to be on the list?
I ain't know we were on that part yet. I thought we were just saying what we wanted to say about it. Yes, it deserves to be on the list, because everybody should watch Dumbo before they die, worldwide. And I rated 5 Cowboy Ninjas out of 5. Thank you for your time.
It's perfect.
Perfecto.
No cons.
Not a piece of it. I love Dumbo.
All right. Like I said, this time watching Dumbo hit different than the other times I watched it. Well, I don't remember how I felt like 2 years ago or whenever we bought this Blu-ray. But the appreciation for it definitely improved. Like the songs were all good. That opening scene was touching to me anyway. The range of emotions, like I said, that happened, even though they lowered the budget significantly production wise, the animation and stuff is still good. And like, again, as a black person, a southern black person at that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with those crows. Anybody who has a problem with them is just looking to have a problem with something.
Same people that got rid of them crows are the same people that got rid of Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben.
Please call.
Yeah. But I think you should see Dumbo because it was one of those, like, it's commonplace now to have a movie completely centered around an animal or anything, completely centered around an animal. But back then, they were kind of touching new ground or whatever, especially with the level of storytelling that it did and the message and all of that. So I don't think you would have gotten the modern day, just this is run of the mill of.
Dumbo was Lion King Grandpa.
He was Lion King Grandpa. And he don't even talk. Like, he's the main person. He don't even talk. He got his own ride at Disney World to this day.
I rode it twice.
You know what I'm saying? Simba ain't got no ride. Does Simba got a ride? No. But Dumbo do. I don't think...
Well, he doesn't have a ride, but he does have a full show. And that's a good show, too. If y'all ever been... The Lion King show at Animal Planet, child. Animal Kingdom. That was a good show.
But yeah, it's a good animated film, and this is back in the day, so this was all 100% hand drawn animations. Like I said, the song slap. But that's OG Disney anyway. Like most OG Disney movies are like that, where just banger after banger. Yeah, I don't know anything like technical that it did that was like the first. I don't think it did, but just of its kind, I think it was. And it's a good family film. We watched it with a 2-year-old, and she was engaged the whole time, which is hard to do.
She even felt bad for Dumbo like we did.
So yeah. She did eventually get free at the end or whatever, once they basically realized they could milk Dumbo for his entertainment value. They were like, oh, we love you now. He basically Rudolph. Dumbo was Rudolph before at least the claymation thing. I don't know how old the story of Rudolph is, but yeah, it's basically a Rudolph story. I would not be friends with nobody who was talking smack about me, like, oh, now you want to be cool. Nah, we're not having that. But yeah, you should watch it. It's, I think, on Disney Plus. It should be on Disney Plus. And I give it 4 Cowboy Ninjas out of 5.
What's the deduction?
The deduction is, I don't really know, to be honest with you. But I know it's not.
Like
No.
There's reason to take a point off. Why you take it off?
Because I'm not like, this is perfect.
Well, what's not perfect about it?
I said I honestly don't know.
And that problem, ladies and gentlemen, we had a hate on our hands. Call the law.
Anyway, have you seen Dumbo? Let us know in the comments. Did you watch the remake, the live action remake? What did you think about it? It was garbage. But what did you think about it? If you loved it, that's great for you. You know what I'm saying? But let us know. How do you feel about the crow situation? All that jazz. Put it in the comments. Until then, Like, share, subscribe. Look at some more videos that we got for our 1001 movies you must watch before you die, or our camping stuff. But this has been another episode of Team Tatum.